Hello everyone, my name's Natissa and welcome to the subtropical Florida Gulf Coast, Zone 10, and to my first garden tour. My husband and I live here in the suburbs and we grow a lot here just on our small property. I see you! Oh, she's running. And our dog Minu is here too. I'm gonna get you. Someone's showing off for the camera. Where are you going? Here she comes. Yeah. But yes, there's a lot happening in the garden and there's a lot to do. And we'll learn as we go along of how best to do this. But first, I will say I did learn this, is that plants grow so fast. I've been growing for a few seasons now, and now that I'm recording with what is happening and I look back just a little ways, I am shocked at how much growth happens. So, note to self, do the garden tours earlier in the season. Well, let's get started. It actually looks like it might rain, which would be nice. I swear we haven't had rain since my harvesting jicama video. Oh, all right. Well, let's get started. I want to enter from this side of the garden because I know what is going to happen here. We have trailing nasturtiums on either side, and we've done that for the last couple of years and it looks so beautiful. So I thought how interesting it would be to see it before the nasturtiums really emerge. And already those nasturtiums I was talking about, they're coming up. They look like lily pads. They're really neat. The leaves and the flowers are edible. Coming over here. And there's more nasturtiums. And in fact, there's more just that have reseeded themselves from last year. Don't know if I'm going to keep them there. These three beds I like to call the White Star Line Three Sisters beds. If you're intrigued with Titanic like I am since I was a kid, you understand why they're called that. So, what I also like to do with these raised beds is I like to grow our salad greens in them. Here's a bunch of Thai lettuce that is coming up. See what I mean? That I should have started the garden tours earlier. Gosh, it just seems like yesterday these were all seedlings, and now, I mean, they're ready for harvesting. We have been already. But yeah, lots of different lettuces. This is, I think, the black-seeded Simpson. I have some Ethiopian kale, a new kale I'm trying that's actually related to kale and mustards, so we like our greens. And this beautiful thing well, it's not at its prime, but it is still very beautiful. It is a pink amaranth. I only know of this variety at Baker Creek. Obviously, the worms and critters have gotten to it. But also, it is going to seed. It's making its flowers where its little seeds are in. In fact, you might be able to, I don't know if you'll be able to see them. But anyhow, I just let this go to seed. I collect the seed, but also it just resows itself. In fact, this plant, I did not plant. It just resowed itself. And there's actually two of them in there. One here, one back in there. And you can eat the greens off of it, eat the seeds, and we've already eaten a lot off. But yeah, geesh, there's so much to point out now that I'm doing this. So I'll try to keep going. We're just gonna focus on our fall and winter season anyhow, because we actually grow all around our property, but we'll just focus on, like I said, the main growing areas for the season. I do want to point out this tomato. Get a better shot of it. There we go. This is a homestead tomato plant. It is supposed to be what they say is a semi-determinate, so it's not quite an indeterminate or a determinate. That's a whole other topic with the growth of a tomato plant. But anyhow, this homestead tomato came from our first garden we had a couple years ago, and I saved the seed and I continue to plant it. And it is, oh yes, it is already setting its fruit. Get that clear. Right there. There we go. All right, well, neat. And some purple beans. Just did a bean harvesting video. And my goodness, we'll be harvesting more. Switching over to the other side. Here's another tomato. I do not know what it is. And this is actually a tomato cutting, and it grew roots. I hope it's going to start going up this pole, and I'll tie it to there, and we'll have tomatoes along with the nasturtiums coming down. That'll be nice. Oh, we've got some Mizuna. We've got some, oh gosh, I think this is the, well, it's one of the lettuces. The, gosh, what is it? I'm blanking out on it. But anyways, there it is. I have a shishito pepper plant and a shishito pepper that I've had growing in the summertime. And it's actually coming back better in fall. More beans along the back. And let's see, oh, here, a lettuce, oh gosh, when I'm doing this tour, it's like a test. I feel like I'm blanking out on everything. But anyhow, this is actually a lettuce start from the store. I normally don't do that just because I grow so much, and that would be very pricey. But every now and then I'll buy a start. And there's some Mavuna here. And some peppers that are looking like they need some fertilization here, the plant. But it still has some peppers on it. Very cool, very cool. So that was this bed here, the middle bed, and now to the third bed. Remember my sweet potato harvest video? That was only in September. Here we are in November. Those are sweet potato plants. Here and here. I can take cuttings from these and just create new plants if I want to, but I have sweet potatoes growing everywhere now and probably will for forever. Oh, there's a squirrel. There he is up there. There's that squirrel. Speaking of sounds you might hear, I do live in a neighborhood. I have neighbors all around me, and we're all just doing our life. It is early morning though, so I'm hoping to beat the crowds. Let's continue. Let's take a look at this back bed. Now I have a ton of beans all along this side here. It's like a 7-8 foot long bed. And on the other side of those beans, I have some bok choy. This is the purple lady bok choy I've been wanting to do for a while. And I have some here and I have some over in that corner. And I want to let them go to seed so I can have some more seeds from it. And oh yes, my green bok choy. I love bok choy. It's actually one of the crops I really miss whenever it's gone, which happens quite soon. It goes to seed really fast, so I've been picking what I see now. I wish they were a little larger of a plant. Well, actually maybe that is about the size they could get, but also if I do want them larger, I would just have to space them out more. And well, there's a lot of damage in here from pests, and in my mind, I would rather have some bok choy than no bok choy. But here's the green bok choy. There's, oh gosh, I gotta pick more beans already. Man, partially I missed some from yesterday from my big bean picking video. But dang, okay, well, got more to do. There's a purple bok choy from seed that I saved. As you can see, yeah, a lot of pest damage on this side. And you know, that just happens. Some parts of the bed are worse than others, wherever the pests congregate. And over here, I think it's called choy-sum. I always forget the actual name. Looks like the bok choy, but I believe you can eat the leaves from it, but what it's supposed to do, it's going to send up flower stalks, and you can eat the flower stalk and the flowers on them. And I think people call it Chinese broccoli, I don't know, or flowering broccoli, that might be it. Either way, I had some last year, purple variety, and it tasted so good. It was like a mix of asparagus and maybe a slight mustard taste. Oh yeah, so I got more. And if you saw the Rebel plant video, well, it's actually a short, but the short video, here is the Indian burr gherkin that has self-seeded itself, and it is running down the line off to my dog barrier. And I just noticed the other day, oh, it did set a fruit. I didn't see this part. My beloved Indian gherkin. This is my cucumber substitute because I cannot grow cucumbers here for anything. Man, the bugs and the powdery mildew just take it out. So these are my cucumbers. It's actually a cucumber relative. Oh, I'll be doing videos on that in the future for sure. All right. Oh, the thing in my way. Oh my gosh. Our sugar cane. It's really, really, really tall. Back, let me see if I can get next to it. There we go. Here I am next to it. And there it goes, there it goes, there it goes, there it goes. Oh dear. This is gonna be fun. These, I think, yeah, we have to harvest these really soon. But yeah, lots of sugar cane. But back to the fall and winter crops. Let's see. Have a couple of summary type things over here, but I do have along the, this is along, by the way, so you know where you are. Here's the sweet potatoes we were just at, sugar cane, along the fence, by the bench. I have a chocolate pear tomato right here. I really hope it works because I lean towards dark tomatoes lately. I mean, I'm learning my taste for tomatoes. But I have this one here, and I have another one elsewhere that seems to have gotten some disease, but this one's looking really good. Already putting out some blossoms there. See that? Blossom, blossom. I gotta trim them up, but I'm thinking this is the main leader, the main part of the plant I want to go on, but I might let this sucker, oh, there it is, the sucker down here, it's growing from the main plant. I might just let that go as well and connect it up to the trellis and then make pretty much two plants from one. We'll see. All right, turning you around. There's where we were, and here's where we are. Sweet potatoes. I keep clearing them away because I have some wonderful red Russian kale growing in here. We really like that. We like making chips out of them. Also, I like the look because it's just kind of a memory to me of our first fall winter garden. So I want that to keep going. Lots of collards. Last year I grew a lot of collards, but the problem was, not just for me, but I've later learned for others as well, is that a lot of the seed packets were not correct of what they said. And last year when I grew collards, it ended up being some premium kale, and we still ate from it. It was just, that's not what I was growing. So this year, There seems to be a lot more collards about. No complaints. All right. Oh, a bee looking for. Oh, where'd you go, bee? So yes, lots of collards happening. Oh, I gotta actually pick some, which is exciting. So yeah, here they are. Collards, collards everywhere, and some sugar snap peas. Up here, they're finding the trellis on their own, or my little stake, I should say. They have those little trendles there that, whoops, there we go, little trendles, and they just grab onto everything. Ah, a self-seeded Everglades tomato. Oh gosh, these things are a weed. If you're in the South, grow Everglades tomatoes. They're small, currant-sized tomatoes, but if you really like tomatoes, that is the way to go. And you just let them go. Oh yeah, where? Yeah, here it is. A self-seeded nasturtium. So it's probably going to go along this side. And I originally planted them all over here because I wanted it to spill over on both sides of these beds. So that way when we're sitting at the bench, we could enjoy walls of the black nasturtiums. But I have a feeling that nature is going to do something different because I see a lot of self-seeded nasturtiums throughout the garden. That's okay. That's okay. No complaints. No complaints. A quick little look at this bed while we're here. We have, oh, more beans. Oh, another bean I missed yesterday. Jeesh. Beans, beans, beans. Oh, another bean I missed yesterday. I would have picked that. Dang it. I know what I'm having tonight. So, yep. Keep your beans picked. If you keep them picked, it tells the plant to make more beans. Otherwise, if you keep leaving too many big beans on there, it will start turning them into seeds. And the plant will say, well, I guess I'm done, and you won't get any more beans. But you'll have a lot of seeds. So we turned ourselves around. We have some more sugar snap peas coming up this side of the bed. And we also have kales and a random Ethiopian kale. Bunch more kales. This is blue dazzling kale. One of my favorites. It seems to grow very well, and it's one of the longest lasting kales in the garden when spring comes and all the bugs come. So it's looking good. It's looking good. We will walk back here. Let's see. So we came from here, and now we are by the bench. Oh, I forgot to take these out. This is the butterfly pea seeds, but that's okay. They're drying out. So this plant behind the bench looks dead, and well, I mean, it is dying back, so I guess. It is a sunchoke, or also known as Jerusalem artichokes. They make some really beautiful yellow flowers on the top, and they already had done that, and now they're dying back, which they do here in our fall winter time, and then they will set a lot of tubers to eat. And I was shocked. I had one plant here last year, and we ended up with a whole bowl full of the tubers from this plant. So I mean, I'm excited. This year though, I learned that you can keep the tubers in the ground. I mean, you can't do it forever because then the tubers will then create new plants. But what you can do throughout the season where they're not growing is you can just continually throughout just pick what you need and then leave a couple behind, and then in spring and summer they will come up and create plants and more tubers. So let's see. So that is Jerusalem artichoke. Oh yes. Oh, there we go. Yeah. Oh no. My husband really likes this tomato. It is the honeycomb hybrid. I get it at our big box stores, our local big box stores. And yeah, it grows very well. It grows these orange tomatoes. And he had one and he said, wow, that tasted like it had some honey on it. And I said, yep, that's what it's bred for. That it has like a honey-like taste to it, which is pretty cool. I don't think that's common in tomatoes. And yeah, it's going a little crazy. I should have trimmed it up. But I keep having these visions of letting this plant go, letting that plant go, and that makes more tomatoes. And I have done that last year. In fact, I had a plant, which I have another honeycomb hybrid. Again, I should have made selections. I should have, cleaned it up. And I do need to clean it up. But last year we had one going up. We had a post here last year. And one going up. And then I had another part of the plant going up the bench. And it worked wonderfully. We had a lot of tomatoes. And then I even let one part of the plant even running along this dog barrier. I call it the Minu barrier because my dog's name is Minu. But, and had another part of the plant going here. So we just had tomatoes, tomatoes, and then tomatoes. And here is something I should have dealt with. And it's so hard as a gardener to take out plants. But this is a very beautiful flower. A tropical legume. It is the butterfly pea. It is very beautiful. I have one of these out in the front yard and the blooms look more like a rose on that side, and I'm hoping to save the seeds from that because I really like that look. But anyhow, this is growing and it's setting its seed. I don't think these are edible, but I just think they're beautiful. I think you can also take cuttings from them and make new plants, so I've read. But the problem here is I have peas growing here. It's either my purple sugar snap or it is my golden snow pea, not quite sure. But the thing is, they're gonna start growing up into this. So, man, I might have to make some decisions, but tough. I have beets that are finally showing up. This is the large beet, mango beets, but I don't know how they're going to do, but we'll see. All I know is we love beets. Oh, and here is my rat-tail radishes. And these, you don't eat the root. You let it flower and you eat the seed pods. And the seed pods get rather large and they're purple, at least with this variety. Very beautiful. So I thought, oh, how nice that would look. So much to show. This is my green zinnia. I don't know. They just don't grow very well for me, I guess. As long as I have seed, and if I ever get more seed, I'm always going to keep trying. But I don't know. My zinnias, this is one about to happen, just don't seem to really do like I see with other people of what they have. And this one, yeah, this is from the green packet. That looks like a yellow zinnia, but it's still nice. I mean, I still like these. I still enjoy looking at them. It's just, it's just, too many high expectations sometimes. My fault. But there are other things that just grow very well. And this is definitely meant for our area, our heat and humidity. Ah, gosh, what is it called? Is it Vinca? I don't know. I'll put the name down. I'm pretty sure that's what it is, but it grows so well. In fact, these are from cuttings. So, and they are like some of the best looking flowers. That's the thing. Do what works well in your area. I know, I gotta do that myself. This is new. Bulb head mustard. We are very excited to try that. We've been growing a lot of mustard and find that we really like it. So when I came across that, it's a mustard that you eat the bulb of, like, I think rutabaga or something. You eat the bulb, and I think you can eat the leaves as well, but super excited. That will be happening. And then the pepper of all peppers that I've ever grown, the Aros Compolio pepper. Oh my gosh. All right, okay. How can I show you this? All right, we're gonna have to just scoot on the other side. Whoop! Look at all these peppers. I hope that you can see this in the camera because a lot of them are green, so it is hard to tell. But there are some that are turning. And there's just so many. There's so many, and there's so many little ones. I have never ever grown a pepper like this. See, some of the little ones are turning. Oh, there's actually a larger one. Okay, I gotta get in there. I gotta get in there. All right. Dang. Yeah, I don't know if you can tell, but this pepper is really just chest level to me. I have never grown a pepper this large. A pepper plant. It's like a bush. It is a bush. It is a bush. And I'm impressed is because it's in ground, and I just, gosh, I do my best to build the soil, but you know, here in Florida, the heat and humidity, the compost I make, the mulch I put down, it just breaks up and goes so fast. But yeah, this is probably the best pepper plant I've ever grown. Hoping to do a future video on that. The biggest obstacle we have to get around with this one is the rats. Oh gosh, yep, those fruit rats can really leave me empty, so we'll see. We have, oh, these are the marigolds that I planted. I mean, I planted all of these, but it was one of the first things, actually this might have been the first thing I planted for our fall and winter season. I have it on the video, so it's already starting to bloom. And we have carrots coming up. Carrots I gotta thin out. In fact, that's a big theme of this garden is thinning out our plants. Peas, they're working. Going down here, some more carrots. Yeah, definitely gotta thin them out. This is carrot seed that I saved. So I'm very, very impressed. You know, I grew the carrot out, it flowered, I collected the seed myself, and I'm impressed because, I don't know, sometimes I always wonder if I'm doing it right, and then you see that and you say, oh wow, okay, maybe, I'm doing something right. More peas along the back, and we have, I think that's the daikon radish. Whoops, there we go, the white root that is about to happen there. I grow these because when I was a kid, my family and I did 4-H, and gosh, we ended up growing these huge white radishes, and probably it was a daikon. There's pictures floating around somewhere, but yeah, I grow them for, you know, just memory as a child. And they taste good. And so from here all the way up, eggplants. Oh my gosh, oh my gosh. Okay, so this plant, oh gosh, a bee. I'm disturbing his whoop, there he goes. Look at it. There is, that I can see, 1, 2, 3, oh, 4, and I think there's one on the other side. 5 and 6. And there's tons more blooms that I'm seeing. That is a lot. This is, all right. This is probably the best eggplant I've ever planted as well. It's a hybrid. I think it's the Black Moon. I don't remember. All I know, it is getting close to be as tall as me. And we've already got a lot of eggplant from this. I even saved seed from it because I'm very curious to see what it will turn into. Will it be like this? We don't know. But this looked very bad in the summertime because of our heat and lack of rain, but it has really come back. Continuing our back here. Peas. Oh, more marigolds. And these, I'm pretty sure, are our watermelon radishes. Chinese radishes. Or not, yeah, Chinese radishes. And another one here. And this is the, what is it, the purple choy sum? I think that's what it is. Sum choy, something like that. oh, it's where you eat the flower stalk, and I really liked it last year, so I planted a lot. And I actually had to plant more because the squirrels were digging all up in here. But it looks like we'll be getting something. Oh, what else? What else? Okay, I gotta say this. This is a kielbasa squash plant. I put in some seed, a couple weeks ago maybe. And this was the only pumpkin I have found I've been able to grow here. So, yes, we are hoping for the best with that. So we came along from the back. There's the pepper. There's the eggplant. We're gonna swoosh over here. And here we have some arugula in a pot. Oh, a tomato cutting I forgot about. A couple tomato cuttings. I was cleaning up the tomatoes, which I'll be showing you a little later. This is my pride and joy. Oh my gosh, it is the broccoli. Gosh, I have so much trouble growing broccoli. It's all in the timing. Well, first of all, look at that. There's my hand. Look how big it is. I can't even like pull the camera out. But yes, gosh, there's a leaf. There's a leaf. There's my hand. But yes, I this year started some brassicas inside. Gosh, I started it in mid-September, was it? I should have started some of them sooner, but I just didn't think of it until my husband suggested it, and I thought, okay, well, I'll give it a try. And so glad I did. Look at that thing. Oh yes, pride and joy. Gosh, we have herb celery coming up. Yep, a lot of thinning needs to be done. More lettuce. I keep forgetting what it is. Is it? It is the... it'll come to me. Basil. Dill. This was actually a random basil seed in a tomato seed packet, and I grew it out, and it's looking pretty good. Oh yes, Mexican sunflowers. Oh, the annual Mexican sunflowers. And it's self-seeded in this itty-bitty pot. I don't know if you can tell, but that is way too small for this plant. But it still looks really good. Not bad at all. More basils down here I gotta thin. This is, I should tell you where we are. We are in the wooden cornerstone bed. Yes, I have tomatoes along the back of it, but I'm gonna show you those later. So here is some dill. Here is another broccoli. You can see this one's actually, well, I don't know if you can tell. It's actually a lot smaller than that one there. And the reason being is that this one was shaded out by a giant roselle plant that was here, and I kind of forgot about it until I took the plant out and was like, oh yeah, a broccoli down there. So it has some catching up to do, but we'll see. More collards, a self-seeded lettuce, which I'm so glad about because for some reason I was having trouble with some of my lettuces earlier. More self-seeded lettuce, carrots. I'll probably have to get you better in on there, but there's purple mustard back there. More mustard. Gosh, I'll have to write down the names of these things. Try to do that because I am blanking. But I do know green wave mustard right here. Oh yes, this stuff's really good cooked. Super spicy, but to me it tastes like cooked spinach. And turnips. Man, these things, gosh. See, I need to do my tours earlier in the season because I swear these were seedlings, it felt like just a couple days ago. And now it's just like this full plant here. I mean, we're starting to already see like the color of the bulb because it's the purple turnip. Whoops, there we go. Man, I need to get on it. This is rosemary. One of the first plants we've had in this garden about 3 years back. 4 years now maybe. A pot of Thai lettuce, looking good. Lemongrass, oh gosh, I could go on about this. Another Arroz Campolio pepper that I just plucked out of the ground because we were redoing some of our beds, and I just stuck it carelessly in here because I thought, well, I don't know what to do with it. We're going to be planting for fall and winter, just throw it in here. Looked dead. I think I forgot about this actually, to be honest, because I planted a tomato here and I wouldn't have done that if I knew. So that's how small and scraggly it was, and it's just coming back and I'm like, oh man, well, okay. This is the same pepper plant as the one that I showed you that is getting as tall as me, so yeah, that's gonna be fun. These are stem mustards. I have a lot of different things growing in so many different places, and I'm gonna go on about that in a future video because that's gonna, you know, this is a tour, but oh, we'll be talking about these. Oh, we will. Oh my gosh, my beloved black carrots. I plan on saving the seed of those black carrots. Oh, I love harvesting everything, but when it comes to carrots, I don't know what it is. To pull a carrot out of the ground, that might be my favorite thing to harvest. What's your favorite thing to harvest? But what we're gonna be doing, I'm gonna try to do, is maybe pull up a carrot or two this season, but let the rest bloom. I think that'll look really pretty, like right there, you know, bloomed. Some white, they have white flowers, like these white puffballs. And that'll be really nice right there on the corner. Coming into this little nook, we have our beloved beets. I have some golden beets we're gonna try this year. And our good old, I believe these are probably Detroit beets, the very popular beet. We have found that we really enjoy beets, so I'm really hoping these do well. Some more mustard back in there. I think that's Kamatsuna. No, I'll have to look. This is the Ethiopian kale. That is that mustard kale relative. And we tried it the other day raw. And mind you, yeah, the leaves were smaller, but I swear, I tasted a sort of, like it tasted like a green, you eat it like, you know, and tasted really good. But later it kind of finished, the flavor finished with like an onion taste. And I thought it was phenomenal. And I've heard a lot of people talk about that kale being very flavorful and very good in our Florida summertime. Well, maybe not summertime, but our Florida heat that we get, because we actually don't get that cold here in the winter time, maybe for a day or two, but we're really in, you know, the 70s, you know, early 80s, so any kale that works through that, I'll take it. Ethiopian kale. And coming down here into the soup pot, we made our roselle jam in this soup pot, and unfortunately put a hole in the pot because it, you know, burned and who knows, but anyhow, a hole ended up in that cooking pot, so we actually turned it into a growing pot. So instead of cooking food in it, we're growing food in it. So there you go. This is some blue bachelor button flowers, and we have the safflower. Oh, I think it's going to bloom. You know, the saffron spice, this is actually a substitute of that, and I want to experiment with that. So that's the saffron, or safflower, and this is another safflower. Got nipped by the bug, and here it's starting to branch out all these extra branches. And that's why when a bug nips a plant, I try not to worry about it, because sometimes it benefits you because it does branch out the plant, and sometimes actually makes it stronger, so I'll keep them. And of course, the lily pad looking plant is nasturtiums that I did not plant there. It's all just coming up in all these, in this whole bed, so I don't know. The ones that I intentionally planted did not come up, except for one, so I'll take it. Some shiso, it's an Asian herb. I want to experiment more with that in the future. In this self-seeded nasturtium plant, the lily pads, we have cilantro. And in this pot, I didn't say, but more cilantro. This is where I planted the, what was it, the samphire rock plant. I was really excited about. Not one seed came up that I could tell, so, well, that's okay. We have some cilantro, we like that. And when cilantro flowers, it's so beautiful, so that's why I also put it in the pot, so we'll see. All right, there are tomatoes up the back, and we are going to first make our way to the horseshoe bed. Some more cilantro, just what we need. And we always have it self-seeding as well. Okay, I'll show you. Here's a tomato. Look at that. This is the Oregon Spring. I'll accidentally say Oregon Snow sometimes, so if I do, it's Oregon Spring variety. It's a tomato that deals with cooler temperatures better, and the reason why, I mean, I'm in Florida, but we grow our tomatoes through fall and winter, and sometimes we do have colder weather, so this is, let's get you on the other side. This is, I'm wondering if it'll do well. There's more down there. Look at that. A nice red tomato. It looks so pretty. I don't know if you can see, but just that green and, I don't know. Let me see. Can you see that? I don't know. Dark green, just like an emerald green, and it's dark on top and then it fades a little bit. It's just nice. But there's a lot of tomatoes happening. And, oh gosh, another one there too. So much. Oh wait, there's more. So you will get a sneak peek of tomatoes. Here is, well, I don't know what kind of tomato it is. I done a video, is a short actually, of the heirloom tomato seeds, and it was just a mix of 4 different ones. So as the season goes on, we're gonna find out which is which, because they will ripen to the color that they are. So we'll stay tuned. We'll be seeing which is which. That is quite sizable. That is really nice. And where, I do not have good soil at all. Very, very sandy. And there's more on this side. So there's this cluster and there's that cluster. And then there's more happening here. Hey, that's good for me. That's good for me. Let's go on the outside of this horseshoe bed here. We have some Chinese cabbage I'm so excited about. It's a loose leaf cabbage and I've been eating that. I always like anything that has like a nice, like thick, like a juicy rib like that, like a bok choy. I just like that. This is that pear tomato that I was talking about, the chocolate pear. And I think it got some disease. I might have to actually end up taking it out because it is looking bad again, but it's trying. This is a Cuban oregano substitute that grows very well here and tastes like oregano, like a, I don't know, they say mix of oregano and thyme, and I think it's great. More Chinese cabbage, and my husband's favorite tomato, honeycomb hybrid. Look at it go. I'll have to talk about this more later perhaps, but I do hope to have this. That's why I trimmed it. But I did leave a couple other leaders go instead of leaving one, because I'm hoping to have it go across these fence lines as well. Oh, let's see. Oh gosh, my feathered lettuce, blue feathered lettuce. I tell you what, this summer was so brutal. This lettuce could not even go to seed because it was in the 90s, and when the temperature is like that, flowers can't get pollinated, you won't get fruit, you won't get seed. But this is last year's seed. And I saved some, but I didn't take really any out, but it just self-seeded all throughout the garden. Gosh, I wish I could show you everything, but this would be forever. More Chinese cabbage. This, is a kohlrabi, giant kohlrabi. I'm hoping it works. I have things planted out randomly, but I'll talk more about that later, of why I did that. A pigeon pea. Yes, this is a summer crop. Quite taller than me. It's supposed to be blossoming. It blossoms on when the days are shorter. So I don't know. But this can live for like 3-5 years. This is its 2nd year, and I did cut it back, and it has exploded once again. So we'll see. I just wanted to keep it up to show you, and also hopes that it will bloom. So this is the pigeon pea, if I didn't say that already. Pigeon pea. All right, continuing our horseshoe bed. Can I get in there? This is some Japanese parsley. More self-seeded of that feathered lettuce I like. And it likes shade, so I'm hoping that this plant will do that. I'm going to turn you around because I don't want to forget. This is the sunroom area, and we have some random things planted in here again, some kohlrabis. I'm experimenting with this bed to see what we can grow in here. Turnips. Definitely not as far along as those turnips down there, but still might get something. You know, that's the thing with gardening. You know, I could harvest those ones first and then these ones later, and it's still food. It's fine. Some borage I moved here. That's a blue flower. We'll see. My zinnias that I originally planted here didn't really come through. They looked like they would, and then they just, I don't know, they just died. I think there's one more here. That even could be a calendula, because then I even threw I just threw a bunch in here because, I don't know, I was just having problems. But I do have some beets. They're, again, not as far along as the beets over here, but we'll see. Some of my tung-ho chrysanthemum that I moved here. Again, hoping to be talking more about these. You can eat the greens. And, there it is. And have a tea. Continuing our horseshoe bed. Some radishes. Just some good old salad radishes there. Oh my gosh, we will be talking about this later. This is the African potato mint. It is a tuber for tropical areas, and it's starting to flower, and it makes these tall purple flowers. They're beautiful. And then you wait for the plant to die back a bit, and then you pick the tubers, and it's like potatoes. Oh my gosh, how did I forget? Let me pan up. Oh yes, this is the red roselle. There's green roselle out there, and my husband and I make a lot of jam out of it. But this kind, you can't really do that with the calyxes. Let me see if I can show you one, if there is one. It's hard to, oh, here's one. See this here? It looks like a bud about to bloom. It actually already bloomed, and it closes and it makes these sort of fruits. But in this variety, it just doesn't really plump up much to make anything out of it, except our green variety roselle does, but that's long gone. But in the winter time or fall time, this red roselle blooms. Isn't it beautiful? That's really nice. And you can eat the leaves. They're really, really dark leaves, very beautiful. They taste very sour, tart. More salad radishes. And another pride and joy. Oh, cabbage. I have never gotten it this far at this point. Again, all about the timing. So we'll see. Red acre cabbage. This is my squirrel protector. I wish I had this over the entire garden, but that's just not gonna happen. So, or at least right now. But baby kohlrabi's in here. I'm gonna have to lift this up soon. It's starting to interfere with my cabbage, so I gotta, no. And another kohlrabi, large kohlrabi here, looking good. Now, again, my Rebel Plants video, the short, I should say. Look at this. I talked about watermelons self-seeding, and this is a watermelon, and it's flowering, and it's going down here. I don't know what it's going to do. I am going to leave it there just to see, but sometimes the garden can surprise you, so we'll keep our eyes peeled on that. That'd be cool to get watermelon in the fall, winter. Not gonna hang my hopes on it, but that would be cool. Another flower, just gotta look at it. It's pretty, I love it. All right, down we go. Wasabi radish, super hot. I grow it just in case, if we get sick in the season or something, and if your nasal passages are blocked or whatever, yeah, that will clear them up. Some more tung-ho. Oh, I think that is a zinnia or calendula. We'll see. Oh wait, maybe not. No. It's a tung-ho, I think. Okay, got excited. the spent blooms of this roselle plant. So they fall off. There's a couple of them on the ground already. Oh yes. Okay, these peas are doing so well. Well, actually, I'm testing these ones. I mentioned how last year, or a couple of years back too, seed packets were not correct in what you'd bought. There was a year I bought some Sugar Daddy snap peas, and it was not that particular pea, and it was supposed to be a snap pea, and it wasn't. So this was labeled as Cascadia sugar snap pea, and they grow very well in my experience. So I'm hoping that's what it is. I'm testing the seed packet, but stay tuned on that. They're looking really good, so that's good. More tung ho, and Chinese cabbage. I gotta thin that out. And another tomato. See that down there? Wait, where is it? There, down there. Going up, up, up. And yes, black creme is what this is, I'm pretty sure. All right, we're gonna back it up. Oh gosh, okay. In this pot, I did grow some bulbing onions, and I don't see any. And in the garden tour that Gary from the Rusted Garden did, he mentioned chives, but that's related to onions. He said that there was probably some sort of bad seed going around because a lot of people had trouble with that seed that particular year. It was like last year. Well, I planted some bulbing onions in here and nothing came up, and it's not difficult to grow. So after seeing that video, which was a couple days ago on his channel, I thought, well, maybe there were some bad onion seeds out there, and that would explain why there's no onions growing. But I do have baby bok choy. I thought, you know what? We'll do that. If the onions show up, we'll just gently lift them out and move them. No big deal. But I see nothing. I don't see anything. Just a couple of weeds I gotta get out, but baby bok choy, I'll take it. All right. So here we are continuing on the swoop of the horseshoe bed. And we have some more Chinese cabbage, Napa cabbage. This looks much better than the one over on that side I showed you. But I'll tell you what, last year I could not get anything to grow here. I mean, I did eventually, but the buggies were eating all the seedlings, and this year they left them all alone. So, you just never know what happens from year to year. Here is a tomato cutting I stuck in the ground. I've been keeping it watered, and it's looking like it took, so we'll see. I'll have to get something big and tall for it. Here I'm trying, oh man, I could just go on and on. Here is some rutabagas, the yellow rutabagas, I believe. I'll have to thin, my plant. Oh, I gotta tie him up. Okay, break time. Emergency tomato tie-up complete. Actually a very scraggly plant. I had a lot of very scraggly, leggy plants, but I planted them all and they're really doing actually very well. You'll be seeing a few of the other really good ones very soon. A noodle bean that's self-seeded, I can't really keep that in there. But we do have the yellow rutabagas. Again, I'll have to be thinning them out. I actually want to do a little something where I show you what I'm going to do as I thin them out. I think you'll find it pretty cool. So that's my plan. Oh, and some peas along the back. They grow very well here. It's the Cascadia snap peas. Oh, they just grow so well so far. That's really a real winner for me. Some more of the peas. Oh, cilantro, my goodness, look at that. And, oh dear. I mean, it's tied. It's the honeycomb hybrid coming through. I'm trying to train it to go up this pole. I just don't want to break it, so I'm waiting it to grow a little bit longer and kind of, get it up there. We'll see. I can always cut it back if I don't want it like that anymore. That's the thing with plants. There's not, there's a lot of, you can do what you want for a lot of it, actually. more peas hiding amongst the Cuban oregano. Let's see. Oh no, my little tomato cutting didn't make it. But that's okay. I'll just put another one in there. I have so many. Peas. Some purple rutabagas. Purple rutabagas. And with those purple rutabagas, a self-seeded blue feather lettuce. Again, no complaints. We're back at that tomato plant I showed you earlier. All right, I know you want to see the tomatoes. Let's go. So we're coming out of the horseshoe bed, coming back here, and a lot of the big tomatoes are in this wooden cornerstone bed. We're gonna start here on the corner where I have a tomato plant, and we're gonna work on the edges and turn, go along the back, so you'll see all the tomatoes coming through. So let's go. This, my friends, is the Mr. Stripey plant that I had in my leggy tomato video. I would say that it is a success. Look at that. Look at that. So if you doubted your leggy tomato seedlings, I hope that you buried them deep, because you can have success too. In fact, all these tomatoes I'm about to show you, or just about all of them, were really leggy. Not in the best condition, but they are looking great. So let's continue. So yes, Mr. Stripey, good job. Down here, I mentioned this being a tomato. This is a Brandywine. I do have a harder time in my limited experience, because they get so diseased. And well, he's looking good. Oh, he has his buds. He has buds. Gosh, I have stories about the Brandywine, but I'd be here all day. Oh, just wonderful success stories, and just, I don't know, I call them garden miracles sometimes. But yeah, Brandywine. And oh my goodness, again, I don't know which tomato is what, because this is from the heirloom seed packet. But look at this. Look at that. Is he starting to turn? Maybe not. But look at that in my hand. So again, we're not gonna know which tomato is what, because it was from an heirloom seed pack that just had a bunch of random heirloom tomatoes. And I'm really, this is gonna be fun. This is what's gonna make the tour fun as well, is to find out what's gonna be what. So right next to it, oh, the sun is coming out. We have more, oh, these heirloom tomatoes. They just look so cool. You know, I am not even a major tomato eater. I am not gonna lie, but you know, when I do have a good tomato, I do appreciate it. So I'm really hoping this is gonna be the year. Oh, so cool. Along the back. Oh, I didn't point these out. More carrots. I don't think I pointed that out. More marigolds. More nasturtiums that just came up out of nowhere. Continuing, here's some lettuce I put in here. We'll hopefully be talking more about that later as well. A baby lettuce, like it's called, like, what is it? Oh, I am blanking on all my I don't know. I'm just so excited. Along the back. But now we're gonna look at the row of tomatoes. Starting with this one. Again, I don't know what this one is. Looking good, and it has some tomatoes, setting here most likely. And oh, and another one. Oh, I have this. Tomatoes don't grow in a nice line like this. You'll see that in pictures, and you might think that's how they grow. They actually grow like a big bush, and they'll send out, gosh, I don't know, it's hard. Let's see. See this whole line here, whoop, all the way up, the stem. Here we go, there's the stem. That's the main stem, and I made that the main stem. And within the stem and in the main branches, stem, branches, you're gonna see what is called a sucker. It It comes out of that area and it'll just, the whole plant will do that. It'll continually bush out like that, bush out between the stem and the main branches. And this will be a crazy, crazy mess. And you might think, oh wow, more tomatoes, but that means just more disease and, well, at least here anyways, more disease, and we don't want that. You want the airflow to go through your plants, especially in a humid place like I'm at here in Florida. So I'm gonna have to take this guy out, but not right now. But there you go, look at that. And he is outgrowing his stake. Up with a better trellising system, but right now this is what I have, so this is what we're doing. Go up, 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 and what? Look at this. Ooh. I hope this is my white wonder. I want the white tomato. I've heard that it tastes like a very tropical fruity taste, and I want to find out what that's like. And here's more. And here's more. Yes. I've never had this much success with this, but, and here's another one. Up we go, up we go. And this one is a little bit behind the times. To show you this one, I need to go on the other side. So it's coming up, it's coming up. It's a little behind, but do you see where I let it split off like that? Now I'm going to let this plant do it for now, because that plant over there, I don't know, it had some sort of disease thing. I feel like it's just not recovering. So I'm probably going to take that out, and I'm going to let this one keep going and let this side of the tomato plant continue that way up that side of the trellis, and this one up this side. So it'd be like kind of like two plants from one plant, but we'll see. It is, can you see those are the little blooms happening. So things are happening. We'll let them go. Right, back to the other side. So next to this patch of the green wave mustard I told you about earlier, that's great for cooking, we have this one. Yeah, I don't think there's any tomatoes on this one, but we do have, the blooms. These two plants, this one and the one I showed you, they don't have anything on them, but sometimes, like I said, that's not a bad thing, because when I have a lot of tomatoes happening and then I have another tomato plant that produces later, it just spreads out the tomato season. So no complaints, no complaints. Right, next. This tomato, I know what this is. This is the black crim tomato, and it is doing so well. It's one of my best ones. Let me see. I don't know, can you see that dark green on top, and it just kind of fades to a smaller, or not smaller, a lighter green. Oh, you need to get a better view of that. I can't really get in there, it's hard, but there are 5 tomatoes in there. There's 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then like there's another one right behind it, 5. A cluster of 5 larger tomatoes. This is amazing for me. Now in other climates, temperate climates, more northern from here, I know tomatoes just like no problem, but for here, this is a big deal. Hey, take a look at that leggy tomato video. When I was planting that Mr. Stripey guy, I was digging in the hole and it was so sandy. The thing that's saving this is, I mean, I did put fertilizer in it. I put as much compost as I can, but I do compost tea all of these tomato plants throughout, you know, the season, maybe every week, every 2 weeks. That's my goal, just to keep things going for them. But yeah, black crim, and ton more, another cluster of them, and another cluster about to happen. This one is, I do know, is the Jubilee. He's kind of growing a little crooked there, but no worries. He's finally set his fruit too. And this is a more heat tolerant and disease resistant tomato. So now that we're going into our fall and winter season, it's going to get cooler, so I'm expecting he will slow down a bit. But the black crim, I think, is a Russian tomato, and a lot of them seem to be more cold tolerant. So it's always good to grow different varieties because, you know, in a moment, one might work better, and then later on the season, the other one might work better. And I've seen that in my limited amount of gardening time, so we'll be seeing this together. But look at that, that's pretty darn good. A couple pots here I want to show you. Another cabbage. Now this is not as far along as the other one because I put it out here a little later, but this one does get more sun, so we'll see. I mean, we're in mid-November, right? Something like that. And I mean, it's already this big. I feel like I have a chance. Big tree I gotta do. There's that calabaza squash I showed you earlier, so you are oriented. I don't have this space really cleaned out. The house shades this spot out in fall and winter time, so I just usually let it rest. And I'll have a couple things going on, like shishito pepper. I plucked it out of the ground because we were rebuilding the garden bed. I just kind of carelessly threw it there, and it is flourishing so well. However, it does have a irrigation system next to it. That's something we're experimenting with more for our summertime. I'll talk more about that later, but it is looking really good. A Thai basil that just exploded. And here's a container of just randomness, and a tomato cutting that looks like it took, some mustards and random kales. But yeah, this is the broccoli in my one video where I said it just was gone from bugs. Still gone, still getting chewed. But you know, and that's the thing too. Sometimes you'll have a container where, you know, there's something in there. I just don't see it, but it comes out every night, takes a lot of it out. But then you have this pot here where I planted that as a young plant, and it's fine. So you just don't know. You just got to plant a lot. There's that random pot there. We'll talk more about the stuff that's over here later, but I want to show you a rebel seedling if it is what I think, and it's looking good, and I'm gonna let it keep going, and maybe, who knows what will become of it, but here it is. But this, in the shade, came up. It came up strong, and I thought it was the calabaza squash at first. But no, I think I had melons I was trying to plant here, and they did not work. And I'm wondering if that is a cantaloupe. I don't know. We'll see. But being it got nipped down by a bug pretty good, and it's coming back, and it's actually looking like one of the best cantaloupe seedlings I've ever had, we'll keep an eye on that rebel plant. And I also have a honeycomb hybrid tomato cutting that did take. We'll see. We'll see. Oh, one more rebel plant. Do you see that seedling? I believe that is an Indian burgherkin, my beloved cucumber. We'll see. And another. Oh, look, some eggs. I'll have to find out what eggs those are. I don't know. They look a little golden. I feel like I need to do something about that. We'll find out. But this is the sunchokes, also Jerusalem artichokes. So that's why it's looking dead, because it is dying back to provide the tubers in the ground. So much happening. So much happening. Well, the sun is coming up and the neighborhood is waking up, so I think our time has come. Gosh, I could show you so much more. That's going to be the struggle of these tours. But I hope that you enjoyed seeing what is happening in the garden. I hope that everything you've seen here at the start of this season has encouraged you that you can grow too. Follow us along what's growing in your garden? Or are you at a point where you're putting your gardens to rest? What are you doing? What's going on? Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.